Good afternoon, class. How are you doing today?
You're fine, thank you, Mr. Fofana.
Yes. Say who? Good. So, welcome to another class. Please make sure you sign on the register. I think I have about how many students? About 30. Okay, it's adding up 38 students. Okay, just ensure that you register. Yeah. Okay, so I think we can start. I have about 24 students online. I have 24 students online. I don't know what are the others doing. Okay, but we'll start. Okay. Right. So today we're going to look at ABC, activity-based costing. But before that, I want us to recap a bit of what we have done. So this is going to be our presentation outline for today. Like I said, we're going to do a recap on what we have done last week. I guess it was on absorption costing and answering the question given on Google Sheet. Okay, we're going to look at activity-based costing, the definition, overview, and I have an interesting video here, a short video on ABC versus absorption costing. That's the practical aspect of it. I think you'll find it interesting. So we're going to watch that video and then we'll discuss it. We're going to look at comparisons between absorption costing and ABC. Then we'll look at the steps that we need to follow when we are calculating our activity-based costing. Some examples of activities and their respective cost drivers, we will discuss them as well. The benefits of activity-based costing, and of course, some limitations. And we will look at an exam type question. Okay. Hopefully, with your cooperation, we should be able to, do all that. Okay. So, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go?
Yes. So,
yeah, we can.
Okay. Make sure you tighten your seatbelts and we're going to go. We're going to fly. So, first, I want to ask, how did you find last week's class? Was it interesting? How did you manage to do your homework? And I hope everyone has done his or her homework. Okay. Have you all done your homework, your assignment?
yes.
Yes, the lecture for last week was educative, and we appreciate it very much.
Okay, good. That's right. And inshallah, we're going to do more. We're going to do more, and we'll try to be as practical as possible. Like I said, accounting is not like, history or political science or whatever. Of course, I know history and political science. With due respect to historians and politicians, I know they are also practical, but accounting is something that no one can avoid. It's present in your life, each and everyone's life, whether you realize it or you don't realize it. And you don't have to be an accountant to know that, each and everyone is an accountant in his or her own right, at home, at the office, everywhere. Okay. So,
Hello?
yes, Mr. John?
Yes. I have an issue with my, if I cannot get the link to the Google Classroom.
Yeah, Usman, and any other person who has got issues, please, get help from your colleagues. I can say 90% of your mates have already completed it. Okay, so if you're having any issues how to access your Google Sheet and stuff like that, please liaise with your mates. They're all superstars as far as Google Sheet is concerned. Okay.
Yes, the
Please.
email, I have been following to fix it, but they are saying that they are not in the office. When I call them, they say call another person, call another person.
What's that?
So
To
still now,
fix what?
my email.
Your
My
email,
UTG.
your UTG email, yeah?
Yes, if you can allow me to use this other email, I have to Google email. But this one, I'm able to connect to the lecture today. You know, last lecture, in fact, I didn't attend because of like the email problem. I was struggling. So these people, they were
No.
unable.
Create a free Gmail account if you haven't got one. Okay, it's simple. Your Gmail account will do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, then maybe I can give this one on the WhatsApp so that somebody can connect me with this one, because this one
Yes,
I can
exactly.
access.
Do that after class, Mr. Njai, please.
Okay.
Do that after class. Okay. Right. So let's have a recap on what we have done last week. You know, can someone tell us what we have done and your understanding of it? Yes. Mr. Jawara, you are adjusting yourself. Can you tell us what we have done last week? I know you were in class last week. Mr. Jawara? Since you don't want to come voluntarily, I'll start picking people, yeah? Mr. Jawara, have you disappeared? Okay, Chan, Ibrahima? Mr. Chan? I very well remember that you were in class. You are.
Yes, Mr. Foreign.
Yes. So take us
I was in
through.
class, of course.
Yes, take us through of your understanding of what we did last class, please.
Yeah, last class we did this absorption costing.
Okay.
We have like two products, product A and product B.
Okay.
Yeah, so we calculated the OAR.
Okay.
Yeah, by using the cost elements, direct materials, direct labor.
Also, you use direct label, direct material to calculate the OAR?
No, not actually. I mean, after calculating the cost, the prime cost.
Oh, the prime cost. Good. After
Exactly.
calculating the prime cost.
The prime cost, then we go ahead and then calculated also the production overheads.
The production overhead.
Yeah. After bringing that, then that's what we use to calculate the OAR.
Okay. You use production overhead to calculate the OAR.
Yes.
Okay, correct. And then you arrived at what?
Yeah, we arrive at we got the two OARs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first part. The first part of the question, yes?
Yeah, that's the
and
first
those
part.
OARs were based on what?
Those OARs
were based on what? The two OARs you are talking about.
They were based on. Sorry, hold on. Let me check my work.
Yeah, actually, Ibrahim, you've tried. You've tried. Thank you. Let's let someone continue from there. Any volunteer? Ibrahim, don't worry. You've tried.
Okay.
Mohammed. Mohammed. can you continue from where Ibrahim stopped? Is Mohammed with us? Okay.
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Usman.
Yes, we use the cost pool or the cost drivers to calculate the OAR.
The cost drivers to calculate the OAR. Usman.
The cost pool, yes.
The cost pool and the cost drivers.
Yes.
Do you agree with Usman, class?
No. Let me also try. And
Usman seems to be ahead of us.
Mr.
What we are
Mohammed,
coming to do today, I think we have to swap so that you can come and take my place, because what we are coming to do today is what you are talking about.
yes, I think we use the budgeted overhead divided
But
by
Usman
the
is good. I think you must be reading ahead. That's why you're saying that. Okay. Yes, Yusufa.
Yes, we use the budgeted overhead divided by the budgeted level of budgeted labor hours to calculate the OER.
Okay, to calculate the OAR. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And what is the budgeted labor hours? How do we call that?
The budgeted labor.
we will call it
activity.
We call it
yes, activity, budgeted activity, the budgeted activity level.
the budgeted activity level. Okay, good. Thank you. So, so when we get the two, the prime cost and the overheads, what do we do to them?
We add them to reach at the total unit cost.
To reach at the total unit cost. Good. To reach at the total unit cost. Good. Right. Okay. So anyone wants to add anything as to what we have done on absorption costing? Okay. So we can move. I think that's a nice point to take off. Just like the ones who came before, just like they've explained, we've looked at absorption costing last week, and we did a question, and the question has got two parts. The first part we did in class, and then the second part I've asked you to do as an assignment. After doing the assignment, I'm sure you realize that the answers overall will be very, very similar. Okay. The first part was definitely more difficult because that part asks you to calculate, OARs, overhead absorption rates, for the two departments. If you could remember, the question requires work in two departments, and the first department was X, and then the second department was Y. Okay, so you were required to calculate the OAR according to each of those two departments. Okay, so after getting your OAR, what do? We absorb. So we agree to get our OAR, we have to take the budgeted overheads, we divide that by the budgeted activity level, and in this question, the budgeted activity level was what? Labor hours. Okay, so that's what we did to arrive at our OAR for each of those departments. And after arriving at our OAR, we absorb by multiplying the OAR by the actual activity level. Okay, so that gave us our unit overhead. So the unit overhead was added to the unit prime cost of each of the products to arrive at our total unit cost. Okay. So today we're going to look at activity-based costing, and activity-based costing is very, very, very similar to absorption costing. Okay, so in other words, activity-based costing is an improvement on absorption costing. Okay, so that's why ABC is among the modern costing techniques. Okay. Sorry, give me a minute. Let me pick. Hello, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a call. So what I was saying is last week we looked at absorption costing, and inshallah this week we're going to look at ABC, activity-based costing. Okay. So can someone tell me about ABC? I'm sure some of you have done it, if not all of you. What is your understanding of ABC?
Mr. Fohan.
Hello.
Mr. Fohan.
Hello. Yes, Fatu.
Hello. Yes, Fatu. Good day. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Fatu. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to confirm something from you regarding the assignment.
Okay, and what is that?
Part C, where you asked us to find the differences. I tried to answer the question, but I don't know whether you are referring for the per unit cost or you are comparing the per unit cost and the overhead, the total overhead.
No, when you are finding the difference, you look at it by product A and product B. What's the total unit cost of product A on the separate departmental overheads calculation, and what is the total cost for product A when you combine the two departments, and the same thing with product B. Okay, but don't worry, I will provide the model answers after when everybody have submitted their answers. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Good. Yes. So any other observation?
Yes, Mr. Fohan.
Yes, go ahead.
The assignment, if we protect it and we protect it with with anyone will have access to see it, whether you will also have the same access to see it or?
Yes, I will have access to it because I am the SA.
I mean, even you this thing to cover it with a black color, white one.
Even if you cover it with white one, of course, I can be able to deactivate it. Yes. The owner of the file or the system administrator will have got access to everything.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so let's proceed. ABC, activity-based costing. Have you done activity-based costing before? Have you done ABC before, class?
Yes, we did. Yes.
We did. I definitely know that you have done it.
At MA1.
At MA1, exactly. Yes. Even though it might be at a junior level, but you've done it, so I guess you have some ideas. Okay. So can you help me with the definition?
Yeah, we do. We do have some ideas.
Yes. Karamo, go ahead, please.
Yes. Activity-based cost. I think activity-based costing is the costing of a particular job, like a particular when you ask sublet to do something.
Okay. Yes, it's also another costing technique. Of
So you do
course,
costing based on that.
Based on?
Based on that activity alone, not generally. Like if the institution is doing costing for, let's say, a company, that is called activity-based company costing.
Costing. Okay. Okay. Anyone with something different? Yusufa?
Yeah, let me also try.
Yes.
I think activity-based costing is a method that involves finding the manufacturing cost and non-manufacturing cost of each activity involved in the production process.
Manufacturing and a non-manufacturing cost. Okay. Anyone else?
Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Sehu.
I believe like activity-based costing. This is a costing technique whereby the main focus of our result, which is going to be the total cost, is based on the particular activities that are involved in the production or production or anything that has to do with that particular product. The actual activities alone, not any other things.
Okay. Okay. Good attempts. Good attempts. Okay. Actually, when you look at activity-based costing. Oh, yeah, Mohammed, so you want to try? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, okay. My network is not very good, but I mean, like, I think activity-based costing, I mean, it's just another method of like apportioning of overheads. Just like, I mean, somebody mentioned earlier, but in this case, we are going to look at it in more details, like the cost. We are going to look at the cost pool and then what drives those costs in more detail.
Okay. Okay, good. I think that's a good, very good answer. So, yes, just like Mr. So rightly said, activity-based costing is a costing approach which shares or apportions overhead costs based on the various activities the organization is undergoing. Okay, so I will elaborate on that. Right, but first, let's look at it from this angle. We have marginal costing and absorption costing as the traditional costing techniques. Okay, like I said, marginal costing. Hadi, are you in class or in the market? Oh, shit. Can someone talk to this lady to stop this?
I believe, Mr. Fofana, you'll be able to mute her. You'll be able to mute her, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying, but I'm not able to do.
It's okay, let me try and call her. I got her number.
I've removed her. It's okay. When she realizes, she'll join. Right. So some people are just so unethical. You've already logged into class and then you are just talking. I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, you see, I've been interrupted. It's too bad. Right. So what I was saying is when you look at marginal costing and absorption costing, these are costing techniques that are called traditional costing techniques. Marginal costing, we don't have any big problem with it. It's purely for decision-making purposes. Okay, but when we look at absorption costing, we have seen some of the areas in which we can use absorption costing for stock valuation, for decision-making, for determining unit selling prices, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in all these costing methods, I have stated here that the treatment of the prime cost or the direct cost is the same, irrespective of the costing technique. Okay, but when you look at the overheads, the way overheads are treated or the way overheads are shared between the various products.
Karamo, can you mute your mic, please?
No.
Okay, Karamo, your mic, please.
Yes. Sorry for that.
So this is where the difference arises. How we treat overheads in absorption costing and how we treat it in ABC, there's a difference. Okay, but when you look at it critically, you'll see to it that the ABC treatment and the absorption costing treatment is very, very, very similar. It's just that the way ABC treats overhead or apportions overhead is very, very, very robust and is in details, and that's why it's more efficient than absorption costing. Okay, so now how does ABC treats overheads? ABC treats overheads or apportions overheads based on this philosophy. Okay, what's the philosophy? The philosophy is our concern is our products and our services, because these are the ones that bring us money. These are the ones that we are interested in knowing their cost. Okay, so the ABC philosophy of treating overheads is with the belief that every cost element, okay, or every cost object, the cost objects are the products and the services. All of them needs what? Activities. Okay, they need activity. If you need to produce a bottle of mango drink, you need to undertake certain activities in order for the mango drink to be produced. If you need to offer service, auditing services or IT services, you need to undergo certain activities. Okay, so those activities are many, okay, and they will depend from product to product or services to services. So ABC believes that every cost element or every cost object needs activities to be executed. Okay, in order to have a product, you need to undergo a series of activities. And those activities also, have got cost attached to it. They've got a cost tag on them. So therefore, in order to apportion overheads to various products or services, you need to look at the overhead cost of those various activities. So in other words, instead of having one lump overhead to be used to determine your OAR, you will have a series of overheads based on various activities that the organization is going to undertake. Those overheads for various activities will be used to calculate the OARs. But in ABC, it's not called OAR, okay? Instead, it is called what? Cost driver rate. Okay, I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. So let's go into our slides and then we'll see how this works. So ABC, of course, is an approach to the costing and monitoring of activities which involves tracing resource consumption and costing final products. Okay, its emphasis is on tracing resource consumption. That's why it tries to use activities, as cost drivers for each and every cost. Okay, so resources, of course, are assigned to activities, and activities to cost objects based on consumption estimates. Okay, so this is a SEMA definition of ABC. Now, when you look at the overview of ABC, we know that this concept of ABC has been defined in the late 80s by two professors, Robert Kaplan and William Burns. And if you are somebody who is versed with some of these management techniques, Robert Kaplan especially have developed some of them. I don't know whether you know about the balance scorecard. You know about the balance scorecard, yeah? Have you done Kaplan and Norton's balance scorecard? Is a tool which is used for performance analysis. Okay, have you come across balance scorecard yet?
No.
No. Okay. Balance scorecard is so important, and I cannot forget it because it earned me a job. it earned me a job when I was in the UK. I had completed my ACCA and my MSc at the time. I still used to do security job until there was a colleague of mine, who is from Spain. So the wife of that colleague was studying SEMA at the time. So when I was doing my last papers of ACCA, the guy was observing me. I was using my, these pocket size summary books. So he'd be looking at me until one day he told me, you seem to be reading similar books with my wife. I said, oh, okay. I said, what's your wife doing? He said, he doesn't even know the course the wife was doing at the time. So, so I said, okay, maybe if your wife is passing by, I can talk to her and then ask. Then, so one day when the wife was passing, we had a chat. She told me, just to summarize, she told me she was, doing SEMA. Okay, she was doing SEMA. And then she asked me, I said, I was doing my last papers of ACCA. She said, what? You're doing your last papers of ACCA and you're still doing security job? I said, yes. I tried the accountancy jobs I couldn't get. And I told her back home, I used to be a finance manager, not even an accountant, but I couldn't get it here. She said, okay. I said, okay, I'll give you time. When you complete all your studies, I assure you that you'll get a job. So I completed my ICA, did my master for 1 year. We had that contact. Then when I finished my master's, then I told her. Then she said, "Okay, apply for the job." Then I applied. I submitted my CV, and I was called to an interview. There was this guy who was our head of department. He's from Germany. I remember that very well. So he asked me questions I answered. But one particular question that attracted me most was a question on balance scorecard. This balance scorecard I was talking about. Then I answered it, properly, and then he was very happy. He said, "Oh, wow! So, that means it's unfortunate to say, but we are not trying to be racist. But sometimes black people face a lot of challenges in white man's land. Sometimes, even if you present your qualification to them, they'll think it's not possible because they think sometimes black people cannot achieve, such achievements. Unfortunately, it's difficult to say, but it's the fact. Then, he said, okay, you'll hear from us. After a couple of weeks, they wrote me to say that I got employment. So just to summarize, balanced scorecard, of course, is my favorite because it added me a job. Okay, so that's on a lighter note. Right. So let's move. Okay, class, are you with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So that was that story actually. You know things that happen nicely in your life. Sometimes you cannot forget them, and of course, bad things also in your life. Sometimes you cannot forget some of them. So this one, I always remember my balance scorecard. Right. Okay. So we're going to continue, and before we go to other lectures, I would like to show you this video. It's a short video on ABC. Okay, please watch, and we will discuss. Please watch and take notes, okay, because we're going to discuss what has been said in the video and how we could put it into practice. Okay, is that clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so just bear with me 1 minute.
Activity-based costing explained in 3 minutes. Imagine.
Sorry, I just have to present it so that you can see the video directly. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Right. Right.
Out joint selling burgers and lemonades. This month you sell.
Just 1 minute. I'm trying to set it up.
Activity-based.
Okay, can you see the video? I have not started playing it, but I just want to make sure that you're seeing the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, just sit back and enjoy.
Activity-based costing explained in 3 minutes. Imagine you have a small takeout joint selling burgers and lemonades. This month you sell 100 burgers and 100 lemonades for a total of 200 items. What if at the end of the month you have an electric power bill of $200? How will you divide the electric bill between the burgers and the lemonades? Easy. $200 divided by 200 items equals $1 in electric power for each burger or lemonade sold. But what if you use 3 kilowatt hours of electric power to make one burger, but only 1 kilowatt hour of electric power to make a glass of lemonade? Is it still fair to write down $1 of electric power for one burger and $1 of electric power for one lemonade? We should write down a bigger electric power cost for the burger, right? This is where activity-based costing is different from traditional costing. Traditional costing is easy because it often just divides some types of costs equally between different items. These are usually costs which are a bit difficult to divide or allocate between products, such as electricity, telephone bills, internet usage, rent, salaries, and others. However, activity-based costing finds ways to divide or allocate these costs more proportionally or fairly, so that we can write down a higher cost for items or products which use more of the stuff related to cost. In our case, we now know that we should write down a higher electric power cost for burgers than for lemonades. As a result, this might cause us to sell our burgers at a higher price than the lemonades, and the lemonades at a lower price than the burgers. Of course, electric power is not the only cost in making burgers and lemonades. Therefore, we have to think about other costs as well before making our final pricing decisions. See, the basic concept of activity-based costing isn't so difficult, is it? Would you like to learn how to easily calculate product cost using activity-based costing?
Okay, I hope you heard the video loud and clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But by the way, before we go into your understanding of the video, the two products they're talking about, I hope the Nyominkas have ever seen them, the burgers and lemonade.
Very well.
Very well.
Maybe I should not mention them at this time of at this time of the day on a typical Ramadan.
They're still strong, huh?
So you love burgers, huh? Well, I think we can still find them here, but you know you cannot get quality ones here. You know, burgers are really lovely. You know, especially with the ones with nice cheddar cheese. You know, and stuff. And lemonades are also, you know, drinks that of course are made from, you know, lemon. They're so lovely, you know, and they taste brilliant because it has got that you know, lemon bitter taste and with some sweetness and stuff like that. Okay. so the Nyomitas know them, yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. So can you tell me what the video is all about? You watch the video, and I hope it's clear, isn't it? Can anyone just mention maybe one or two things on the video, and then we hear from others, and then we continue to discuss. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir. I want to try.
Yes. We start from Karamo. Yeah. Okay. Karamo. Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah. From the video, what we observe is like they are trying to show us how they distribute the overheads.
Okay.
Between the two products, burger and lemonades.
Burger and lemonades. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What they did is like, for example, if we are producing them in the same quantity,
mm-hmm.
like this, you have to distribute. You have to distribute the overheads between them equally. But activity-based costing.
Okay, so what method will be that?
On their proportion.
If we have to use a particular method, we will divide it between them, you know, equally. What method is that?
If equally.
What method was that? What method was explaining that? Fatu, you want to try? Karamo, thank you. Karamo, thank you for mentioning some points here. Fatu, you want to try? Fatu Kamara?
Yes, just like what Karamo has said.
Okay.
In ABC costing, it helps in apportionment to
apportion. It helps
to oppose the apportionment of cost.
Apportion.
Yeah.
So apportion means to share, to share something.
Yeah, to share the cost equally between the two products.
Okay. You said the ABC shares it equally between the two products? Did you say that?
No, what we mean is like they share it based on the apportionment of the quantity they are producing on each product.
No, this time around the video did not say that. What did the video say? The video spoke about two methods.
The first part of the video.
But by the way, take note that the overheads is talking about here is the electricity cost. Okay, electricity cost is an overhead. So take note of that. So it spoke about how the electricity cost was distributed. Okay, Jawara, Lamin, can you tell us your understanding? It was distributed using two methods. What are those two methods? Yes,
Can I come in, Mr. Fofana?
Yusufa has raised his hand. Yes, Yusufa,
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Mm-hmm.
The video is just trying to show us how activity-based costing find ways how to divide or allocate those costs more proportionally or fairly based on their cost consumed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so please, I think let's be ethical. If you want to talk, please just raise your hand. You can see the hand sign there. Yeah. So you just put your hand down. So after talking, you put your hand down. So you will find the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so if you want to talk, please raise your hands. So Fatu, yes. Fatu, your hand is up. Yes, Fatu, put your hands down. Yes, Fatu. Fatu Kamara, your hand is up. Anyone wants to say anything? Yusfa, you've said it. So you've said something. Can you put your hand down?
I have put it down, but it's like the same appearing there. I don't know.
Okay, fine. Don't worry. Right. Anyone wants to say anything on the video?
Yes, Mr. Fofana. What I want to say is like in allocating distributing the cost, like when you are doing your pricing decision, you have to go through the costs that were incurred before production actually were made. So activity based in comparison with the traditional way of costing, like it's